It comes straight out of the scripture. And this is first thing in the morning, right before bed, twice a day, Jews will pray this prayer. It's if you ask a rabbi today, what's the most important prayer, the most important commandment in Judaism, he's going to give you the same answer Yeshua did. He's going to give you the Shema, right? So that's the Shema. Now, I'm going to move on here. So this here, I have, can you see this on your screen with the Hebrew keyboard and all that?
Yeah.
Now that's payalim.com that I've been talking about. So if you do a Google search for a specific word, it'll give you a link and take you right to that page. But here, if I wanted to look up a word, they have a little keyboard. So if I just go to payalim.com or save that in your favorites, when you go to their home page, you have this search. Now you're searching with Hebrew letters. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, like say I was doing love. So I put in my, using their keyboards right on there for you. And then I hit search. Yep, there you go. Ahav, past tense, third person, he loved. Right? View full conjugation. So you see, you can go to their homepage. You can search anything if you know the Hebrew letters that you want to search for the root word. So you just take that and use their keyboard. You can, and then you'll find the conjugation tables for different words. So there's your pa'al. See, I clicked on view full conjugation. Now you got your ohev, ohevet. You go to past tense and you see your ahavta, you loved. So that payalim.com, and I'll write that down for you so you have that. I would suggest saving it in your favorites bar or somewhere where you can find it, because it's one you'll probably want to use a lot, right? So you're doing your traditional www, and then you get your payalim.com. And they have the Hebrew keyboard right there on their homepage, so you can type in with their keyboard. And if you get a word like shamar, right, just remember, if you're looking in Strong's or something, they're going to give you the default form. And if you eliminate the vowels and you just concentrate on the 3 consonant letters in Strong's, you'll get your root, right? So if you type in your shin, mem, and resh, it'll pull it up on payalim.com, and you can see how that word's conjugated. So it's a really good tool to have. I want to press through and give you one more prayer. And I've talked about this before, right? And I want to also teach you guys what I was taught, and has served me well, is the Hebrew method of questioning. So Modeh Ani means I give thanks, right? So now, when we're studying our verbs and I said I study, who remembers how you say I study in Hebrew? Depends on if you're a man or a woman, right? Ani.
Lomedet,
Lomedet, right? That's correct. So why is it Ani Lomedet? Why isn't it Ani Modah? If it's Ani Lomedet, why isn't it Ani Modah? Why is it Modah Ani? Why did they reverse the word order? Why did they put Ani second instead of first? Now, like I say, I'm wanting to instill in you, to impart to you, that questioning, because God does these things on purpose, and when he does these things, he's doing it to draw us in, to ask him questions. So we should take notice. There's an anomaly there. Now here's something to know that will help you to know. Now the rabbis wrote the Modeh Ani. They got it out of scripture, but it's written by the rabbis. But Modeh is the verb to give thanks. But here's what the rabbis said, the reason why they reversed the order. And in Hebrew, it's a little different than English. Let me show you Genesis chapter 1 again. Now there's a reason why Scholars will say that Genesis chapter 1 is some of the most complicated Hebrew you're ever going to find anywhere. There's a lot of mysteries, anomalies, a lot of stuff that goes on in Genesis chapter 1. But notice in the beginning, Bereshit, bara Elohim. You get the reversed word order again. So if I'm saying Ani Lomedet, I should be saying Elohim bara. They have it reversed just the same as Modeh Ani. Now, there's a reason, and there's a lot of discussion in Jewish commentaries about why the word order is reversed there. And I'm not going to get into that today, but I did want to show you it happens in the scripture as well, not just in the Jewish prayers. And there's a reason for it. But Hebrew's a little different than English. In Hebrew, I can say it both ways. I can say Lomedet Ani, and I can say Ani Lomedet. And sometimes it's changed around for poetic purposes. So there's a customary order to put it in, which is the Ani Lomedet. The Lomedet Ani would be an unusual way to put it. But when the rabbis say Modeh Ani or Modeh Ani, the reason they give, and it helps to understand, there's a rule, an unwritten rule, but a rule nonetheless. And the rule with the Modeh Ani or the Modeh Ani is before, remember I talked about stikah? When I wake up first thing in the day, I'm not supposed to say a single word. I'm not supposed to say, oh, I hit the snooze button, or oh, I overslept, or how's it going? I'm not supposed to say any of that. The very first word out of my mouth is supposed to be the Modeh Ani before I say anything else. Now, this is a Jewish rule. It's not the Bible, but there's a concept behind it. And the idea is I'm supposed to start my day with Modeh, with giving thanks. So I'm stikah. I'm in a state of stikah until I say my Modeh Ani. Once I've said my Modeh Ani, now I can talk. That's how it works in Jewish custom. So they don't want the first word out of my mouth to be Ani, right? A narcissist. They want the first word out of my mouth for the day to be Modeh or Modah. So this is the reason why the word order is reversed in the prayer, is so that the very first word that I begin my day with is thanks, not me or I, right? So that's what it is meant to remind us of, the fact that they changed the word order. So there's a reason for these things. And like I said, I want you guys to learn the reason behind it and to learn to question, because in the questioning you will learn things. Now, the next word in the prayer, after you say Modeh Ani or Modeh Ani, is lefanecha. Now, remember what the ha is, right? That's with regards to who's receiving it, right? So that's the you. Now, lefane might be harder to see because of the pay turns into an F sound, just like in the English word phone, right? In English, you could write that as phone. You wouldn't, you'd say it's wrong spelling, but phonetically, I could write phone, and that's correct, right? You get the F sound. So the pay is sometimes a P and sometimes an F. And that carried through in the language history. That's why you have phone. Anyway, so you get pa, and usually it's going to be pane, right? This is face. And this is le is the prefix, right? Before or for. So before your face. Usually it's just translated before you. But literally, remember what I said in the Hebrew, your face is an idiom for your presence. And I talked about the 70 faces of God, 70 faces of my wife, shtika, smak. That's two of them. So, you know, anyway, God has 70 faces too, right? He has a stika face. You know, stop talking now, Ben. Or he has a smock, right? Cheer up, be happy. Anyway, so lefaneha is before your face, before your presence. So usually it's Modeh Ani lefaneha, which is I give thanks before you is how it's translated. But literally what it's saying is I give thanks in front of your presence, or in your presence, in front of your face. So like first word out of my mouth is thanks, and the first recognition is I'm giving thanks is his presence. So my very first conversation of the day is interacting with God, right? Before your face, before your presence.